Today is the day to burn the ships. Today is the day to stop being indecisive. It's the day to stop being lukewarm in whatever it is that we're doing. See, there's a verse in Revelation chapter 3, verse 15 and 16, where God basically says that because you are lukewarm, you are neither hot nor cold. You are neither hot nor cold. I will spit you out of my mouth. See, one thing God hates more than anything is indecisiveness. It's undecidedness. It's lukewarm living. It's being neither hot nor cold. And the first thing we need to understand is the distinction between choosing something and deciding on something. If you think of the word choice or choose, we are simply picking one thing over another. We have a preference. And if we choose something today and we don't like it, we can choose something tomorrow, something different. But if you think of the word decision, it's a lot like the word incision, which is a medical term, right? To cut into. An incision is to cut into. A decision is to cut away or to cut off of, to cut off from. So when you make a decision, you are deciding on something, you are picking something, and you are literally cutting yourself off from every other option. And that means there's no going back. So the term burn the ships comes from the story of Cortez landing on the coast when he began, conquering what's Central and South America. His men were indecisive. His men were unsure that they would be victorious. So what did Cortez do? He ordered his men to burn the ships, to send a message that there is no other option. There is no going back. The only way we go is forward and we're victorious, or we go forward and we're defeated. But either way, we go forward. His men hesitated, naturally enough. So what did he do? He took the time to explain it to him again. No, he took a sword and he drove it through the heart of the closest person to him and killed him when they disobeyed him. And everybody else said, "We got the message, sir." So what have you been indecisive about? What have you been lukewarm about? What have you been hemming and hawing about? There's an old phrase that says, if you're not sure what option you want between choice 1 and choice 2, flip a coin. And before that coin hits the ground, before you have the results of that coin flip, you will already know what your preference is, one way or the other. If you want heads, you'll flip the coin and go, I hope it lands on heads. That's the choice you should make, regardless of what the coin lands on. But your instinct automatically, almost immediately, is to hope for a certain outcome. And that's the one you should go with. Ignore the rest of the coin flip. Doesn't matter. But making a decision is hard. It's scary. And a lot of us get stuck in indecision because indecision is based on fear. It's a fear of failure. It's a fear of messing up. It's a fear of making mistakes. My challenge to you today is this. Thomas Edison is credited with having said that he hasn't failed. He has simply found 10,000 ways that will not work. So if that's you, if you had 10,000 ways that do not work, if you had a head start of 10,000 lessons and ways not to waste your time, your money, your energy, or whatever your resources are, if you have a head start of 10,000 ways that won't fail or that will not work, you already know 10,000 ways something won't work. What becomes possible for you? That's a pretty powerful thought. There's an ancient form of Chinese torture. It's called Ling Chi. And Ling Chi is essentially death by 1,000 cuts. No one cut by itself is fatal or even all that painful, really. Sure, it hurts and it's annoying, but it's just a tiny cut. But 1,000 of them stacked on top of each other, the cumulative shock and blood loss for your body becomes fatal. So let's flip this Ling Chi thing on its head and let's take Edison's lesson. So we don't have death by 1,000 cuts, but instead we have success by 1,000 failures, or even 10,000 failures. If you have 1,000 ways or 10,000 ways that something won't work and you already know what not to do, what becomes possible for you? And a lot of times we get stuck in indecisiveness. We get stuck in lukewarm living because we're afraid to make a choice. We're afraid to make a decision. And we get stuck in this analysis paralysis, which is all based on fear. A fear of failure, or a fear of looking bad, or a fear of what other people might think, a fear of losing money, a fear of losing time, whatever it is, it's fear. But 2 Timothy is very clear. 2 Timothy 1:7 very clearly says that God has not given us a spirit of fear, right? Or a spirit of timidity, but a spirit of love and power, of a sound mind, of a disciplined mind is what that word really means. A disciplined mind. A decision is nothing more than disciplining yourself to make a decision when you don't want to. Discipline is having the ability to fail forward and know that you're going to make mistakes, but moving forward and deciding on something is knowing that no matter what stumbling blocks are in your way, you have the knowledge, the ability, and the support in your life to turn those stumbling blocks into stepping stones into a greater future. So, are you the type of person that's going to look at a problem and see a problem in every opportunity? Or are you going to be the type of person that sees an opportunity in every problem? An opportunity to come up better and stronger than you were before. So that's my challenge for you today. That's my challenge for you this week. Happy Monday, by the way. But what is it that you're facing this week? What decision have you been putting off? What have you been analyzing for so long that you've just stopped moving forward? Overcome that analysis paralysis. Overcome that fear today by knowing that deciding is simply cutting yourself off from all other options and moving forward and learning as you go. Have the courage to learn as you go, but have the courage to take a step. Have a courage to burn the ships. Or, like this shirt says, I don't know if you can see all of it, it says be afraid, but at the very bottom of it, do it anyway. Be afraid and do it anyway. Know that you're going to make mistakes, but know that you're going to fail forward. Because every time you make a mistake, it's really a lesson to be better than you were before. So if you try something, if you're right or wrong, doesn't matter. If you're right, great, you succeeded. If you're wrong, guess what? You've learned a lesson, so now you're better than you were before, so you are better, so you will do better next time. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, but don't be afraid to make decisions either. And they go hand in hand. You can't really have one without the other. So happy Monday. Have a great week. Start making the decisions you've been putting off. Stop getting stuck in that analysis paralysis and move forward. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video.